Hello, my name is Courtney Hughes. I am a sophomore here at Indiana State University. I am majoring in cybercriminology and security studies, and I anticipate graduating in spring of 2022. I am currently an RA in the Lincoln Quad community, overseeing stairwells 2 and 3, and I am also a mid-year hire that started in spring of 2020. Even though I haven't been a part of Res Life for that long, I still feel like I have successes and accomplishments that I can be proud of and reflect on since being a part of Res Life. And the first thing that comes to mind when I think of my personal successes since being here is honestly being here. And I know it sounds cheesy, but it's so true for me. It's a huge accomplishment becoming a part of Res Life. For someone to think that you are capable and fit for this huge role on campus is a huge accomplishment in and of itself. And honestly, I'm super thankful. Even if I'm not hired for a second year, it's a great opportunity that I was so happy I took advantage of. And it's a lot of hard work and dedication that a lot of people don't necessarily see behind the scenes. So that's another thing that I want to bring up is the fact that even though my successes may not be measurable in terms of my numbers of residents attending events and different meetings that I have, which is definitely important, but I don't get down on myself for those numbers being low sometimes because I just look for new ways to motivate and encourage residents to come out, which I think is a huge accomplishment as well, because a lot of people get down on themselves for residents not showing up, and they just get discouraged and they think that it's all over. But I always try to challenge myself and learn from different failures that I have, which is a success that I will always be proud of. So another success I feel like I've made since being a part of Res Life is my ability to integrate with the existing community that was here. It may not seem like a huge accomplishment, but to me it's one of the biggest accomplishments I've made since being here. And that's honestly because I was so nervous coming in to residential life in this Lincoln Quad community because it had already been here for a whole semester. And the first semester, as pretty much everyone in Res Life knows, is crucial in establishing the community. And being the fact that it had been around for a whole semester, I was nervous in terms of how I was going to fit in, how I would benefit, how I would hinder the community. But I consider it a huge accomplishment in the way that I was able to become a part of this community effectively. I definitely can see both with my residents and with my fellow staff how my strengths and weaknesses have been able to be applied to the community and benefit them and make it the best that it can be with me being there, so I'm definitely proud of that. Along with my successes, I've also had my fair share of challenges since becoming a part of Res Life. The main challenge that I think I've faced since being here is community bonding, and I attribute that to a couple different factors. The main one being the setup of Lincoln Quad, and I know that's no excuse, but there's no one place where the residents have to pass through to leave and come back to their room. So it's been a little bit of a struggle to get those residents that don't want to interact or don't want to communicate with me. So coming up with different ways to motivate them, whether that be sending another email or knocking on their door of all hours of the day, trying to interact with them, it's been a little bit of a struggle. And also, these residents are upperclassmen that live in Lincoln Quad, so they also have different communities besides where they live. So back home, for example, or relationships that they have, maybe other organizations that they're involved in on campus. Those are all things that may be keeping them from trying to establish a community here. And I've definitely been struggling with trying to come up with different ways to motivate them. But I'm always trying to find new ideas and different ways to encourage them, but it's definitely been a struggle. I have learned so much from this job, it's crazy. Like, honestly, it's insane to think about because I've only been here for a little over half a semester, and to think about the knowledge and information I've gained is just mind-blowing. The biggest thing I think I've learned from this job so far is to be flexible. That's with my staff, that's with my residents, that's just with honestly any aspect of this job. So in terms of with my fellow staff, it's definitely important to be flexible with them because we all have different schedules, we all have different lives, and being able to help them when they need help and being able to help me when I need help and just balancing each other out is definitely important to make an effective staff. And secondly, with residents, I think it's definitely important to be flexible because even though You may think that a resident's going through a similar situation to which you've handled before. It may need a whole different approach in being resolved than anything you've ever seen. So I think being flexible is important because everyone's needs are different, and making sure that you're able to help them in the best way possible is crucial in getting things solved and done. So another thing that I've been able to further my knowledge on since being a part of Res Life is my communication style, and that's been both in a general sense of communicating, so I've been able to further my skills and develop a more effective way to communicate both socially and professionally. And also I've been able to learn more about my conflict resolution, and that's both with my conflict style and how I handle situations, and also being able to help residents through their conflicts and try and resolve it the most effective way possible. Even though this job is highly ingrained in the concept of being there for your residents and making sure that they feel supported and growing in the community and just in life in general, it's also a moment of great personal growth that happens throughout your time in Res Life, and I definitely have seen that when I reflect on how I've grown in this position, especially with my work ethic, and I see that in terms of this job being so unpredictable. You can get brought into any situation at any hour of the day, any day of the week, and you have to be ready for it. Any curveball that's thrown your way, you have to be on the receiving end, ready to catch it. And that's a lot. It's a lot to think about, especially with the variety of situations that can take place, that you have to come up with a resolution for or try to help the resident with. And I've also realized with this job and my work ethic that I've been a very independent person when it comes to careers and various jobs that I've had, and being so independent isn't always the best option, and I feel like I've grown a lot with realizing that it's okay to depend on my coworkers to get things done. It's more effective, it's more efficient, and it's beneficial to almost everybody, because without your coworkers in this position, it gets overwhelming very quickly. If you feel like you can't rely on your staff, it's very hectic. So just realizing that we all have strengths and weaknesses and we can apply that to accommodate for one another, it's something that makes all the difference. So when I reflect on my failures and my successes, and they reflect on their failures and successes, making sure that we're able to apply that to each other and help each other out when we can is definitely important. And along with that, when you think things are going great or things are going horrible, I also think a great area of my personal growth has been acknowledging the fact that there's always room for improvement. And I'm so proud of myself for that, because I've always been someone that has always been pretty pessimistic, and this job has definitely made me have more optimism in things that I do, despite the failures and successes that I may have. So I'm definitely thankful for that. Residential life is packed full of educational experiences, whether that be experiences that you can grow from or experiences that other people can grow from. It's packed full of them, and it could be anything from different policies and rules on campus to societal norms and prejudices and microaggressions that may be taking place in your community. In general, it's an eye-opening experience, and there has been no job that I've ever had that's been like residential life, and it's honestly been one of the best opportunities I've ever been given to learn more about the world I live in, the people that live on it, and just campus in general. I've been an educator to others in terms of informing others of policy that's expected of them on campus and in the residential halls, and I've also been educated too, and I love that because I am from a community that I grew up in for 18 years of my life that is not diverse. It's not a community where difference is necessarily encouraged. So I love learning new things about people and cultures and communities that are different than mine, because the whole world is full of people that are different, and I think that's so beautiful, and I want to learn as much as I can about it, and being able to interact with residents and share my experiences and educate them on my life and how I grew up in different cultures and traditions that I've had, and them reciprocating that to me, I think is one of the craziest things and one of the best opportunities that I've been given. I also just want to throw a quick thank you out there for watching this video. I'm not sure who you are, but I am very thankful that you sat through this whole thing and are considering me for rehire. I hope you pick the best person for the position, whether that be me or someone else, to fulfill the needs of residential life. But thank you for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.